Good morning. Happy Monday morning.
Happy Monday.
So Nicolette is just setting us up online and
Monday morning.
for those of you who are jumping on live with us, say hello where you're joining us from. We'd love to hear from you, and and we'd love for you to contribute as we go along as well. So today we're covering gratitude, everything gratitude, which is a very broad topic, but we're going to try and nail it down to some practical things and also some ways to start perhaps conceptualizing it that you mightn't be familiar with, which opens us right up and opens up how we actually relate to one another and the world, and then even beyond that as well. So good morning, Nicolette. I can see that you're all ready.
I'm all ready. I've finished doing the sharing and the the setting up part, and we're good to go. Grateful for technology.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So I'll hand over to you to begin with. When you think about gratitude, what are some of the things that immediately come up for you?
So gratitude is something that I've really only tapped into probably in the last 5 years, the power of it. And it seems like such a simple thing. And when people said to me in the beginning, practice gratitude every day, I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. But what I've learned over time is that when we actually focus on the little things to be grateful for every day, we find more things to be grateful for in the following days. So if I'm grateful for the opportunity to be outside today, and soak up all this beautiful energy. I'm so grateful for my connection with you and everything that we're creating together, and that you can feel how the truth in that, and that gratitude emanates from me and is reflected back to me in more things to be grateful for. So that's what I've learnt about gratitude over the time, and that when I'm in my darkest moments and in the time where I'm not feeling like there's much to be grateful for, having that discipline of really going, okay, but what can I be grateful for right now? It's constantly retraining me, or it's constantly giving the universe reasons to reflect more things to be grateful for back to me, and that really helps me in my journey and my transitioning to the next best version of myself and my next best version of myself. So gratitude's the basis of everything.
Yeah, well put. Well put. And then you covered so much there.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we're done.
Thanks for tuning
in. No, so what I probably have a similar journey with gratitude, in that the first time you come across it, it seems really cognitive, and if you're not in the habit of practicing gratitude or actually feeling gratitude, it can seem like, oh yeah, like whatever, nice concept, but don't I've got XYZ going on, and how do you really feel grateful when you're in a state of angst or stress or whatever it is. So for me, as a starting point, it's the difference of locating it as a feeling and allowing yourself to feel gratitude rather than the thought I'm grateful for. Because unless there's the connection between the thought and the feeling, it's going to, the deeper parts of you will essentially call bullshit on whatever you've just told yourself you're grateful for. So it's about the practice of sitting in the gratitude and feeling that until you actually start to feel full, because then that's communicating to those deeper parts of you that are in angst or worry or stress, that you're okay and that your needs are being met, have always been met, and will continue to always be met. So I think there's a very key distinction there in practicing gratitude, that it's not something superficial at a thought level. It's felt with everything that you are actually grateful for, and you don't move on from whatever your mind has just found or located until you feel full or a sense of release from finding that piece of gratitude.
That's very true. And can I just add to that, when you were talking about it being very cognitive, it felt that way to me in the beginning as well. And sometimes people can be like, yeah, but Asher, I'm not feeling it and I don't know how to feel it. And my answer to that would be just keep writing down things that you're grateful for, even if you're not. And as you keep writing the list, and keep going, yeah, but what else am I grateful for? But what else am I grateful for? But what else am I grateful for? There'll be something that will land and you'll go, oh, I'm actually feeling this. And that's and then you know what that feels like. And then that practice will make it less cognitive and more embodied.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful. And another tip that I would have for people is if gratitude is still more at that cognitive level, or it's a nice concept, or you've seen gratitude diaries and there's a part of you that is still in resistance, simply write down on a piece of paper, gratitude is ... and just start allowing whatever is in your consciousness about the topic of gratitude to come on the page. And I've done this technique with someone who is an incredibly successful professional, and they had a lot of resistance. And one of the first things that came up for them was gratitude is lame. And then working with that and seeing it, and then because once it's on the page, and the thing about the mind is that the positive will automatically attract the negative, and the negative will automatically attract the positive, because the constructs exist in equal and opposite. So the mind will naturally locate both. And it's about giving it the opportunity to get both on the page, so you can look at it then from a more higher order perspective where there's a level of distance. And then the conscious mind actually starts to catch you on some of the nonsense that's being held in the back, like gratitude is lame, because the more we go into it, you actually, and where you finish, Nicolette, on that first summary that you did of gratitude, gratitude is the foundation of everything. And it's the foundation of giving and meaningful relationships and manifesting and becoming more whole within yourself and operating from a place of wholeness. So if there is part of you that has that level of resistance, step number one, gratitude is ... Your mind will put out both all of the positive concepts of it and all the negative concepts that you're holding that's keeping you in that state of resistance. And then asking yourself, if there was something that I could be truly grateful for and allow myself to feel it in this moment, what would that be? And then just allow that time for that to be felt within you. And if there was another thing that I could be truly grateful for in this moment, what would that be? Breathing that in. And if there was one more thing that I could be truly grateful for in this moment, what would that be? And see what actually arises from within to the surface. Because when it's asked in that way, it won't be cognitive. It will come from the inside out. It will find you as to what you're grateful for.
That's beautiful. And it really lands the way that you explained that. The other thing that I wanted to flag in this process, or talking about this topic, is take a look at the people around you and the conversations that you're connecting with people on, because it's really easy to connect with people through misery. And if you're surrounded by those relationships, then you're staying in that misery loop, and you're like, well, there's nothing to be grateful for. Yeah, I know, right? Let's sit here and
Have
bond
a
over that.
whinge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And if you think about who are the people, the people that when I connect with, they come at me with, oh, I saw this beautiful flower this morning, or they come at you with what they're grateful for, and spend more time connecting with those people at that, over what you're both grateful for, over that higher vibrational stuff, because that retrains you to be in that state as well, and moving away from the people who are stuck down in the spiral.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And that spiral comes from a place of judgment, that whatever is going on, there's a part of me that is at odds with it. And so therefore I'm judging it in trying to keep myself safe, because if I can label it and identify it, and then I've got allies with it, it's all those deeper mechanisms of trying to keep ourselves safe, to go, okay, now I'm going to move away from it. And then from a deeper perspective, resistance creates resistance. And that's where you see people start to get into tug of wars with people, and tug of wars with situations. And then they expend all of their energy toing and froing, because they're caught in judgment and ideals of what is right or how things should be, rather than operating from a place of, I am whole, I already have my needs met, so I'm perfectly okay. And then that drops the resistance, and then peaceful resolutions tend to emanate out of that, because you're not doing this with whatever you're in judgment with.
Yeah, that's very true. And just talking about the people, because when you were saying before that there's a part of you that, if you're in that cognitive writing out what you're grateful for, or thinking about what you're grateful for, and you have that tug of war within yourself of like, oh, that's bullshit. The same thing will happen with people. So if you're like, oh, well, that person's always positive and grateful, I'm going to go up, but every time you have a conversation with them, you're thinking, this is BS. You don't actually feel it. Like, it has to be someone that you actually resonate with, and you believe them when they talk.
Yes. Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Yeah, gratitude is definitely not a bypass to be empathic with whatever is going on for someone. Such a key point. And people who practice gratitude or have found a truth in it, there very well may be a tendency to, if someone is in pain, go straight to, yeah, but what are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And the deeper parts of you that are actually in suffering will resist, being like, I know gratitude's great, but I'm actually really in pain here, and I need to be allowed to experience what I'm experiencing, so I can let it go, so I can move through it.
And then be grateful for the lesson.
Yes.
Afterwards.
Yes. Bravo. Yeah. Drop a 100 if that resonates, or a heart if that resonates. That it's through being present with the deeper messages, learning the lesson, and then the gratitude coming. We'd love to hear if that resonates, and any key takeaways that you've had through gratitude. So if we now look at some of those bigger topics, Nicolette, would you introduce us to the role of gratitude in manifestation?
Okay. You're just getting me back for putting you on the spot last week.
Yeah.
Um, Gratitude in manifestation to me is being grateful for what is going to happen before it happens. So it's the belief that everything works out beautifully for me. It's the intention of what I am creating in the future, and that what I'm creating in the future as a feeling and a reality now that I'm grateful for now, because and I'm grateful for the ability that I am able to create that. So that gratitude in manifesting for me is about connecting myself with my present self, with my future self as one whole
Yeah, beautiful.
being. And there is no separation when you have gratitude linking yourself with your future.
That's so beautiful. And I can't help myself. When you started talking, I had deja vu. And I was like, this is trippy. You're talking about creating it from the future. And yeah, and then I have this experience of I have seen this before. So
What
um,
about you? What about your take on gratitude and manifestation?
yeah, so with manifestation, you're absolutely right. It's about becoming one with, that there is no separation between you or anything else. So within physics, there's a concept called entanglement, and it's where two electrical particles have come together, and then through that entanglement, even in separation, respond instantaneously. So what happens for one is mirrored or occurs for the other particle, without time space separating the reaction. So why that's so important is because when you recognize that you are an electrical magnetic being and you take ownership of the frequency that you operate at, and gratitude is the frequency of manifestation, then what you have set your intention on very clearly in manifesting, you start to resonate at that same frequency of the particles that are connected to it. So, and then that brings the results to you according to manifestation, law of attraction, entanglement, quantum physics law. So we're not talking about woo-woo stuff. There's hard science relating to these concepts. And what science has now shown is that it's the combination of occupying, emanating a gratitude frequency, which means you're the receiver of whatever it is, which means you are without need, which actually opens you up to receive it. So then the clear intention and the clear visualization, the reticular activating system in the mind doesn't, which is a very, very primitive part of the mind, doesn't know the difference between the outside environment and what you have generated in your mind's eye, which is why people get so hyper aroused with anxiety, because their mind's eye has projected the worst possible outcome, and then their body responds as though that is true, and then subconsciously they go after creating that event. The same is true for manifestation. So when you get really good at clear intention and visualization, and that part of the brain and nervous system doesn't know the difference, and you're in a state of receivership that it's already happened and gratitude, you are going to then subconsciously go about your days creating and manifesting that. So it's the combination, and studies have also shown if you're simply in a state of gratitude, you won't attract. And if you're simply in a state of clear visualization, you won't attract. It has to be both. It's the clear visualization with the intention and then the open receptive state of gratitude receivership, that I am already full. So now it comes to me with ease.
And the part that really landed with me when you first started speaking through all that was, I am without need. So that that feeling of I am without need is actually abundance. So abundance attracts abundance, and hence why when you're in that state, you manifest anything that you want, because you don't actually need any of it. So it's a free flow, and there is no resistance of the need and the longing and the grieving that you don't have it, and all those things, putting up this barrier to the universe for bringing it to you, because you're not going to attract the things that you want by living in the things that you don't want.
Yes, completely. And what I love in bringing gratitude into this, it's a ginormous piece of the art of manifestation itself. And gratitude at a surface level, it's easy to assume that gratitude practices will feel good. What gratitude practice also does is allows for the release of what is within. So sometimes if you're in a state of deeper gratitude, it will often be met with tears, and that's okay, because that's the body's release of what was within that was previously causing the resistance. And typically they will come from a place of a lack of worth, a lack of trust, or deep grief, so a sense of a loss. So if ever you're in some kind of suffering, the mind has associated that you are without. So therefore, the antidote has to be that I am with everything and everyone, and there is no separation. And when you come into contact with those gratitude meditations, being fully present with gratitude, what is generated from within and out will be the release of suffering and ideas of loss, a lack of worth, a lack of trust, a lack of sense of self. That will be released. And then maintaining that sense of gratitude and filling up that space with an energy of gratitude and love and peace and reciprocity. And again, they can sound really big, but when you're in that state, there will be an openness and a receptiveness to you that allows that space to become full. And in that state of wholeness and oneness, that's when people also experience spontaneous remissions, and that's being documented a lot. So we're seeing really profound resets from the release, the coming into contact with the whole, the feeling of I am whole through being connected with the whole. And then that's where you get biological and genetic upgrades. So again, these practices are really powerful, and yeah, they're certainly not lame or to be trifled with. You know,
This is the big stuff.
This is the big stuff.
The life-changing, the life-changing practices and way of life. So it's like when you're working on your physical body, and the more vegetables and less sugar you eat, the more vegetables that you want to eat, and the less sugar that you want to eat.
That's so true.
So it's the same thing when you're feeding your mind and your soul. The more gratitude that you feed back into yourself, the more you're going to look for it, and the more you're going to attract it. And it's life-changing on all levels.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. Was there anything else you were wanting to add in our discussion of gratitude?
I'd like to encourage anyone listening to this to pop in the comments what you're grateful for today. And the way that I teach to practice gratitude is gratitude for something big, gratitude for something little, gratitude for something for yourself. So, what are you grateful to yourself for today? Pop those in the comments and see how it feels to read them back and to read other people's contributions as well, and be in that state with others and with us.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. So I guess you already said what you were grateful for today, Nicolette, being outside, the sunshine. Is there any, our connection? Is there anything else that you were wanting to add to your gratitude list for today?
I'm so grateful for my family, my immediate family, and my extended family, and the family that I choose for myself. And I'm so grateful for my partner Andrew in all of the ups and downs of life. He's yeah, he's a pillar of strength and unconditional love. So I'm that's my big thing.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. And I guess grateful for so much. I'm grateful to be able to spend the time each and every week connecting with you and connecting with our like-minded listeners of the things that are so important to us that we know have shifted the way that we live and the way that we love and the way that we operate. And I'm so tremendously grateful that we're at an era where people have an openness and receptiveness to these topics, because it's when they're shared that that you really get powerful results and change. I'm grateful for the fact that my mum comes back today after being away for a little while. So I can't wait to connect with her tonight, and that will be beautiful. And I am grateful for everything that you and I have coming up very soon as well. So, yeah.
So much to be grateful for.
So much to be grateful for. Very good. Yes. And so for anyone who's just tipping their toes in the gratitude space, really give yourself permission to work through any resistance with those practices that we mentioned right at the beginning. And yeah, anything that you start to do more of, like Nicolette's been talking about, it has an additive and a cumulative effect. So and then when these are really practiced within us, when life events do turn around and present you with some kind of challenge, you have a really strong foundation to work from. In these, this has now become a state of being, rather than, oh yeah, that concept that I should probably do, and yeah, I might get the journal out one day. So so it's something that you can do now to start reaping the benefits of.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, same time.
See you then. Bye for now.